Everybody makes mistakes. All of us have made mistakes in our lives, whether they were big, small, important, non-important. We've all been there. There's plenty of times that I've made mistakes I did not take responsibility for it. And there's plenty of times where I lied about it to make myself look good or not bad. And if you're not in the boat with me, well, get in because you're lying to yourself. But what's important is how you deal with your mistakes, how you hold yourself afterwards, how you seek out help afterwards, and how you take responsibility. Accountability raises performance, flat out. Whether that's someone calling you out when you messed up or you calling yourself out. We need accountability. My name is Austin, and I will be speaking on accountability and how it's been an impact in my life and how I can help. What do I mean by accountability? I think accountability is holding others and others holding you to higher standards. Why do we need accountability? It's to get the most out of our lives. And finally, how can we develop accountability? By not being afraid to be confronted and to confront somebody else. So first of all, what do I mean by accountability? I already went over this briefly, but something that I took away from my mentors and my personal experience, it's holding others and others holding you to higher standards. A couple years ago, I played football for Lincoln High School. We had this thing called Black Crew. So Black Crew was basically the team got together in the morning at 5:45 a.m. to work out for 2 hours. It was tough. Bunch of teenage boys waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning is not necessarily the best mix, but we managed, and it was good. The coaches knew that they could not do it on their own. They needed players to be leaders and to hold their teammates accountable. There was 8 of us. We called ourselves Agape leaders. So Agape is an early term used by Christians for love. There's multiple words for love, but this one in particular is the highest form of love, one that God would give his children. So we were called Agape leaders. Our job was to be basically a line leader. We had 8 people. We had to make sure they were on time. We had to make sure we get their points. They're good at school. Their attendance in school, everything like that is in order, and it was tough. But in a way, being in a position of leadership like that, it made it easy for me to do what I needed to do. It made it easier for me to be on time, wake up at 5 in the morning, get there and lead. It's different when you have people relying on you, and I think in a way, that's them holding you accountable, holding me accountable. Now, there's plenty of times where I had to hold them accountable, and that's a lesson that I'm grateful to learn, that you cannot be afraid to speak out. You cannot be afraid to tell them when they're doing something wrong, especially in a leadership position. It's just something you have to learn. Now, why is accountability important? Why is it important in our lives? I think it's important because it's how you get the most out of it, how you get the most out of your everyday life. A couple years ago when I was playing football, I could wake up on time easily. Have people there relying on me, keep me accountable. I had to keep them accountable. I could not be hypocritical. So it was easy waking up. Now it's hard to wake up at 7 in the morning because no one's there. No one's there to keep me accountable, and it's tough. But that's where you gotta learn to be self-disciplined and keep yourself accountable. I have a friend, we'll call him Joe. He wasn't there all the time for workouts, but he was there enough to get by. Now, I believe he thinks that he understands. So sorry, I'm having a text. Let's see if I can edit this out. I have a friend, his name is Joe. I have a friend, we'll call him Joe. So Joe would not necessarily wake up all the time or on time for these workouts because it's hard. But now he's grown so much. It's mind-boggling. He's learned how to keep himself disciplined and accountable in the gym. He wakes up early, goes the nights. He's the reason he keeps me accountable to still go. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be at the gym nearly as much as I should have. So that's why we need accountability, just to get the most out of life. So, how can we develop accountability? We spoke about what it is, why it's important. Now how can we develop this? You cannot be afraid to be confronted, and you cannot be afraid to confront somebody else. Now, this is where things can get misconceived. Most people are in a defensive position when you call them out on something. So it's very important to understand and know that person and execute it effectively. So if you know they're more of a sensitive person, then compliment them. Give them compliments and how well they're doing, and then lay it out on them. If you know it's somebody that just needs to be told, then just tell it to them. Get it over with. Now that's how you go after somebody else and keep them accountable, but it's very important for yourself to not get defensive. If somebody's calling you out, don't say nothing, just listen. Take in what they're saying. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. No matter what it is, think about it. Because if you react in a wrong way, people are gonna take you as hypocritical, arrogant, and they won't wanna tell you when you're wrong. And it's not a good thing, because you always learn. You're never always right, and that's the life to learn. And accountability, and it's just something I'm learning as well. So it's very important to be able to take in criticism. So in all, accountability is holding others and yourself to higher standards. We need this in our life so we can not only get the most out of it and achieve our goals, but to be a better person, which is a trait that can get you far in life. Finally, we develop this by practicing it in our everyday life, by not being afraid of what your friend says, your spouse says, your cousin, your sister, your brother, whoever it is. Not being afraid of what they tell you and not being afraid to tell them. Finally, I challenge you to ask somebody in your life who cares for you to hold you accountable for a goal, whatever it is. To wake up earlier, wake up 30 minutes earlier, to go to the gym 30 minutes longer, to go to the gym in general, to read a book, whatever it is. I challenge you to ask that person to hold you accountable for a month and see what happens. I'd like to leave you with a quote that I believe is simple, but very, very important, strong. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to the result. By Bob Proctor. Thank you.